Okay, this is my demonstration of how I wash my silkies. So I fill the first bucket up, 3/4, whatever, full of warm water, comfortable warm water. Then I take the Dawn and put some in there. I don't want to agitate it because I don't want all the bubbles to get everywhere. And then the same with this bucket. And then I just pour in some white vinegar. Take my girl, hold her between her legs, put my hands on her wings, and a dip. I don't want them flapping. Dip, and keeping her head out, and soak. Once they're in the water, they kind of calm down after a second, and then when she's probably gonna flap because there's no water. I just rub, get the, all the areas and wash, gently rub and try not to agitate the water so that all the suds come. They will eventually come, but anyway. So up to her neck, I grab her head, and I dip back carefully. Don't want to get water, on her, on her nostrils. And then I tilt her head up, and get under here. And then, just keep working under the wings. And then same thing with the rinse. Now what I do with the feet, back here, I use the side of the bucket. I don't know if you can see this, but I just go like this to get the poop off. A lot of times you actually use my floor and go, I hope this is getting in here, down like this. Get those feet clean. Rinse bucket. I kind of squeeze, gently squeeze, get some little water. Next comes the chicken tortilla. So what I do, of course, the head's out. I still have my fingers between her legs, and I make a tortilla. And then her legs should be sticking out. And this is when I trim, work on her feet. Then next comes the drying part. So if you can see here, this is just some heavy gauge welded wire fence. And I cut some pieces and I used, wire rings, hog rings, whatever you call them, and connected it so it folds up. And just took a tarp, connected to the bottom, threw some shavings down. And these are ceramic heat bulbs they use for reptiles so I usually only need one because we're inside. Depending on what temperature you got, you can keep your girls from getting cold. Anyway, so So next, my chicken tortilla. And they usually just lay there in the towel. And then I go on to the next chicken and do the same thing. So I do a few at a time because it takes a long time. It takes many hours. It takes me, you know, so a few hours. And then I'll take, after I've done a few, say four to six, depending on the time that I have. I put my girl up on something. I've used 5-gallon buckets. This is a TV tray, a towel, and sorry, I'm camera operator and groomer. Blow dry, and I blow dry, you know, fluff her up, you know, and I make sure I get up underneath. I pull her wing up. I pull the wings up and get all up under there. You know, I kind of blow against the feathers and blow dry them, and for the most part they're all blow dried, and then I put them back in the pen, but I usually turn off the heat before I go to bed because they're mostly dry, and the temperature in my basement. So anyway, that's what I do. And with the shimmering lights, you know, I didn't pull it out, but sometimes I just put, oh, I've already diluted. This is almost empty, so I just diluted that, and I'll just squirt on the white splash parts, you know, and work that in to the feathers. You know, work it in, pull it, you know. Anyway, and also, you know, oops, sorry, baby. You know, I pull out broken feathers, and I just pull them straight out, and you can find them. On the front, and then, you know, from underneath. So you do that, you pull those out. Of course, any broken wing feathers, see, that one's broken. So I kind of do that when they're wet, you know, when I do their toenails and trim their toenails, and I pull the broken feathers, and then I start, you know, I keep them in a shed, and I'll show you that in a minute.